7:30. But first, this was the drug prescribed for morning sickness which led to terrible deformities in the womb. Now, 50 years after the thalidomide scandal, victims and their families finally got their official apology. The Health Minister, Mike O'Brien, expressed the government's sincere regret and confirmed a £20 million package of support. Campaigners called it a day of historic importance, as Jenny Wivell now reports.
At the end of a lifelong battle, victims of the thalidomide scandal have emerged victorious from the Houses of Parliament.
The government wishes to express its sincere regret and deep sympathy for the injury and suffering endured by all those affected when expectant mothers took the drug thalidomide between 1958 and 1961.
50 years after their pregnant mothers were prescribed a drug that caused major limb deformities and other damage, they finally received an apology from the government.
I'm so delighted and thrilled to have been able to witness what I just heard Mike O'Brien say today, and I can't wait for my mother to hear what was said today.
We've had to wait a very long time, but I'm glad that they finally, recognise that the government did have some responsibility in allowing this drug to be licensed in the first place.
For 7 years I've been campaigning, 18 thalidomiders have died, so they aren't here today to hear this apology. And also for the parents that didn't make it to this day, it's very sad, but it's also a momentous day as well.
About 400 children were born deformed in Britain between 1959 and 1962.
Learning to eat without fingers and walk without legs. These are the children who've had to live with the consequences of a decision to use a drug that hadn't been fully tested. When their mothers were given thalidomide to prevent morning sickness, it worked. But it damaged the eyesight, the hearing and the physical development of their babies while they were still in the womb.
A lot of mums and dads feel guilt, really do. I approached it once with my mum and I saw the pain go from her normal face to absolutely horrid, and I only ever approached the subject once.
Louise Midas Mansell and her husband Darren Mansell have waited 50 years for today's apology. It's something they never thought they'd get.
And it's something that we never ever thought would come in our lifetime.
It may be 50 years too late, but I'm just glad that it come out now, so that there's a bit of foreclosure on it.
Thank you.
Today's apology from the Department of Health follows a decision last month to award Britain's 466 thalidomide victims £20 million. It's part of a 3-year pilot scheme to help them cope with their disabilities. Louise and Darren say it needs to be extended.
We are expecting that it will carry on. We will get more money again in 3 years' time, because in 3 years, we will prove that money has given lots of more people independence, and they're not in so much pain because they managed to afford the technology or whatever.
Technology is not cheap. Voice recognition still costs hundreds of quid for the software. But it's little things like that it's too late for us now to try and reverse what's happened to our bodies, but it'll try and let us last a little bit longer into the future if we can use this assistive technology, they call it now.
For the victims who've already died, the apology has come too late. But for those who've survived, it gives them the chance to live out the rest of their lives in peace.
After the break.